Get in the building.
Woo! Eagle,
I'm
hey!
gonna let Rick Press say it. Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Get in the building, baby. It's the Black Elvis. Oh man. Happy Sunday, everybody. Week 13, the recap show. Here it is. Your number one source for college football inside information. Bringing on the silent partner, Mr. Abraham Bell, every Sunday night, giving you on the ground coverage, inside information, Alabama football, Auburn football, like your number one source, man. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Share the video, man. How you feeling, big brother?
Hey man, I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful.
Good. We gonna get into it. We got a lot to get to. Separation Saturday, as I like to call it. We separate the pretenders from the contenders. You know, it's late November, big boy football. You know, the puppies gotta go home. The big dogs are playing right now.
That's right.
Let's get into it, man. So right off the bat, number 7, Alabama goes to Oklahoma, unranked Oklahoma, and just gets, just stomped down, man. 21-0 skunk, gets beat 24-3. Uh, Again, this same Alabama team, no different, helter skelter. 1 week they up, 1 week they down, same old story. I didn't get to watch much of this game. I've been busy. The built system against us that we couldn't stop. What did you see, brother? What happened yesterday night, man? Alabama, Oklahoma.
Uh, I only saw like the replay. Because that game was going on around the same time our game was going on. So but like I told you, that Oklahoma's a tricky team, and they're playing in Oklahoma in Norman. They're gonna be coached well. They got athletes. They got the facilities. You know, I expected them to do better in the SEC this year. But I figured it was gonna be.
This ain't no little boy program. We talking about Oklahoma.
No. Yeah. So I figured they was gonna do well. I had y'all winning by 10, but I figured it was gonna be a close game. But I still, thought Alabama would be able to pull it out. But I will say, Oklahoma, they clamped down on that defense, and from the looks of it, they shut the running game down for Miro. They control the line of scrimmage, which is their defense has led their team all the way this year. For the most part, has been an anchor of their team. Uh, I can't say that Alabama was looking forward or looking past Oklahoma to the Iron Bowl, but you know, after that beat down in LSU, they probably started, getting a little bit more confident.
I'm hearing the same old, you're running with Miro instead of using your two dynamic running backs. Just predictable offense. So, yeah, man. Alabama goes down to Oklahoma, 24-3, man. SEC championship hopes are shattered. What do you see as far as the possible playoff berth? Do you see a path still for this Alabama team to make the playoff?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because of their state rival Auburn.
Mm.
Auburn is fighting for a playoff berth, and they just got some good confidence this past weekend with unbelievable performance over the 15th ranked Texas A&M Aggies. What I did see is Oklahoma was able to run the ball on Alabama.
Mm.
And you know what Auburn does well? Run the ball. And Texas A&M has one of the best offensive and defensive lines in the league.
Mm.
They move people off the ball. And Auburn was able to run the ball, but Oklahoma ran for 260 yards on Alabama.
Unheard of.
260 on 49 attempts. So if Auburn can establish the running game, which I believe they will.
Hold on, we gonna get to that game. I kind of want you to talk about the path for. Do you see a path for
There's no
Alabama
path.
to the playoff? I know you said no, but
It's the fourth loss.
yeah, third loss.
No, it's the fourth loss is coming. That's gonna be the dagger. That's what I'm
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
I
I
got
don't
you.
I
I
don't
got
I
you.
don't.
Goes to Oklahoma. Falls down last night,
Mhm.
24-3. Just a terrible body blow to the program. Kind of the final nail in the coffin of the Saban era. You know, this is kind of the game to let you know Saban is long gone. It's a new regime. Like I say, it's been a busy weekend. I was in Tuscaloosa this morning, yesterday and this morning actually.
Mm.
Had a couple jobs up there. In my other business, but and Tuscaloosa was just so sad this morning, bro. I mean, I didn't see
Mm.
nobody with no Alabama gear on. I even had a Stillman shirt on. If you know, you know. You know, I wore
Yeah,
my
if you know,
Stillman
you
today,
know.
bro. I ain't even wear my Bama shirt today, my Bama hat.
SC baby.
It was sad today, man. It was just sad today. So, but I want to reiterate and shout out to the chat room. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. When I say Alabama insiders, man, you know, we're literally on the ground. You know, I'm literally in Tuscaloosa every other day. You know what I'm saying? This guy's literally in Auburn, Mobile, anywhere in the state of Alabama. So we are on the ground getting a pulse. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. This is your number one source. We ain't just talking. We are literally in the state of Alabama, literally on the ground getting the pulse of Alabama Auburn football. So just a side note there, man. But moving on, speaking of the Auburn Tigers, man, they getting hot. You know, hadn't had a chance to watch a lot of Auburn this year, but they getting hot. I'm hearing good things down on the plains. What is going on? Auburn takes out Texas A&M, highly ranked Texas A&M, 43-41 in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Take it away,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, four overtimes,
Wow,
43-41.
wow.
It was a must win. I mean, they're fighting for bowl eligibility. So it's a must win. They had to win this game. Their last final game at home on senior night. So this is a game that they really, really needed to win. They hopped out 21-0.
Mm. Auburn hopped
20,
out 21.
21 quick ones. I'm
Wow.
talking about boom, boom, boom. And in true Auburn fashion, we had to make the game interesting. But this is a good Texas A&M team. You can't take anything away from them. They established a line of scrimmage. They did that, but Auburn did as well. We made surprisingly we played a really good. We played really good in the passing game. Uh, yeah, we opened up with a rushing touchdown from what's up, Ricardo? We'd open up with a rushing touchdown with Jarquez. Came back, Cam Coleman, two touchdowns. That's our five-star freshman. He's gonna be
Mm,
a dynamic receiver. I think he has
mm,
like right at 600 yards on the season.
mm,
Probably should have been more, but some growing pains there, especially with our quarterback. But Peyton played extremely well this game, and that was really the difference maker. He came out hot. Only one turnover off a deflection in the fourth, which I almost passed out when he did that, uh, but it is what it is. Um, it was a very good game, and it's similar. They reminded me of Alabama.
mm,
Uh, Mobile quarterback, likes to run with the quarterback. He's more of a scrambler than designed run quarterback,
mm.
but he can, and he's one of the quickest. And we were able to contain him for the most part, so that gives me confidence in us playing against Milrow. And we played against several of those type of quarterbacks throughout the season, so this will be the final test. uh, per se for Auburn. But I was extremely pleased with the way we played, running the ball with Jarquez. I think he had like 138 yards rushing. Uh, Peyton, I think he threw for 3 or 4 touchdowns, including the not well the game winner for the 2 point conversion, because in overtime, in 4 overtimes, you got one overtime, you have to score a touchdown. Second overtime, you have to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Third and fourth overtimes, it's like 2 point conversions.
Yeah.
So he connected with Keandre Lambert Smith, the Penn State transfer, which
Hmm.
he is incredible. He's probably going to be he's close to being like number one in Auburn receiving list on the
Wow.
receiving list, like far as yardage. Yeah, he's dynamic. He's one of the best to come through. So it was a back and forth game towards the end. Probably a little bit more exciting than it should have been.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was a big win for Auburn, and I think they have some confidence going into this Iron Bowl.
There you
But
go, man.
I
Go ahead.
will
Go
say
ahead.
this: Texas A&M is still in the hunt. They're
Hmm.
playing for a berth in the SEC championship next week. So that loss didn't hurt A&M as much as it would have hurt another team. So all they have to do is beat Texas next week,
Hmm.
which
Yeah, they got a big one.
I told you that's going to be the biggest game of the year, because now for the first time after 13 years, they're going to play, and they're going to play with a chance to go to the SEC championship.
Yeah. Huge game next weekend.
Yes,
Huge.
playing Georgia. So yeah, that's going to be a good one.
But yeah, man, hats off to the Auburn Tigers, man. Clicking, coming together at the right time, taking out 15th ranked Texas A&M 43-41 in 4 overtimes. Give it up. Man, shout out to Auburn, man. Moving on, man. Things are getting interesting. Colorado Buffaloes, man. I think they came into this game 8-2.
Yes.
Kansas had been, the slayer, the giant killer the last 2 weeks, taking out Iowa State and BYU. Um,
Hmm.
Kansas just, striking at the right time, scary. So they come into this game, man. I started watching this game, but I had to leave. Uh, I know Kansas was scoring like every time they got the ball. They almost scored on every possession yesterday.
Mm.
Colorado couldn't stop anything. Another slow start, with the way Kansas was running and scoring every time. It's just no way Colorado had a chance yesterday. Kansas was in complete control pretty much. Uh, but yeah, man, Colorado just kind of fumbles, a dream season. You know what I'm saying? I don't know their path forward to the Big 12 championship. I'll let you break that down. They may still have a shot, but yesterday is that day again. Pretenders and contenders, get separated. You know, yesterday's games were kind of almost bigger than championship game, because these are the cornerstone games that move your program forward. And they kind of
Yes.
choked and fumbled it yesterday. Now instead of having a dream season, now they'll just have a good season, go to a bowl possibly. But talk about the game yesterday, man, and the way forward for Colorado.
Yeah, I just believe Colorado. They may have just they may have just gotten complacent, but like I said last week, uh, Kansas is a decent team.
Yeah.
You
You've been
know,
saying it.
they're a decent team, and like you said, they're catching their wave. They're
Mhm.
getting hot at the end of the season. They're finding their identity, and this game was at Kansas. So you just beat two ranked teams, and now you got the most hated team in the NCAA that's playing for a berth in the Big 12 championship. They had something to prove, and I figured this would be a tough game for Colorado. But I thought that Colorado will probably have a little bit more firepower, but clearly the stage was too big for Colorado today.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to say it's a knock to their program, because you know to go from 1-11 to possibly 9-3 in your second year. from a 4-8 season. I mean, that's progress. They still have
Yeah,
a shot at a 10-win season.
yeah,
Uh, despite whatever bowl game they're invited to, which I believe it'll be a decent bowl game if they went out. But yeah, I was extremely disappointed. But Travis Hunter made another statement for the Heisman.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, he's just an incredible athlete, incredible talent, good person. But it was a bad loss for Colorado, but a great win for Kansas. And I want to see where they, where they gonna land,
yeah,
and the trajectory for their program, because they've had some decent seasons since that new coach got there a few years ago.
yeah.
So this could be a defining moment for their program. These last three ranked wins,
You know,
you know. So yeah, yeah. Everybody's rooting for Colorado to win. Uh, I was, but to be a champion, you have to have a championship mindset.
there you go.
You know.
Yep, yep. And I saw one of the quotes from Prime. He was like, "I think we started smelling ourselves a little bit too much off the latest
Yeah.
success." So, hey, man,
Yep.
when it's right there, you gotta take it. You gotta take it. And they didn't do it, man. Failed to the Kansas Jayhawks, the hot Jayhawks, 37-21 again. I'm not looking at the stats, but I think Kansas almost scored on every possession, man, or every other. But yeah, man, we'll see where Colorado shakes out. Uh, a lot of stuff going on in that conference, so we'll see. Moving on to Florida Gators. Same Florida's kind of like Kansas. They've been hanging around, fighting, never say die, faith in the coach Billy Napier. One week he's out, the next week, they loving him again. So, you know, taking out Ole Miss, man. What is up with Ole Miss? Jackson Dart just throwing pick after pick. I mean, they gave him chances to try to win the game. He just he gave it right back. He said, "I don't want it." It was fun. It was funny to watch, man. Did you get a chance to see the Florida Gators take out Ole Miss 24-17?
I saw some of it, but are we really like surprised that Ole Miss is Ole Missing? Like,
Yeah,
this is typical Lane Kiffin. He has incredible seasons.
yeah,
He has incredible seasons. He has incredible games, but he doesn't win the ones that count.
yeah.
He doesn't get to the big game. So it's like, I'm not surprised. In Florida, this is a different Florida from the beginning of the season.
Mm,
DJ Lagway, like I said, have these guys playing with confidence. They believe that they can win. They believe they deserve to be on the field. They believe in their coach, uh, and it's showing. But also, it's like Ole Miss just does what Ole Miss does. You want Ole Miss to be that team. They finally have a defense. They have an explosive offense, but they just don't have the dog in them. That's all
mhm,
it is.
yeah.
They don't have the dog in them to complete the season, complete the mission, championship or die. And they
Mm,
choose to die
mm,
every single time. And I hate that for them, because it's some really good Ole Miss fans. They're really good program, but they just don't complete the mission.
mm. Beautiful stuff, baby. We live with the silent partner, Mr. Abraham Belt, Alabama insider dropping bombs. Yeah, man. It was. I don't know if you caught the end of that game, but that was wild to watch, man. And you right. Ole
Yeah,
Miss just Ole Missing.
yeah. He threw the game away. He threw like two or three picks toward the end. It's like, you know, you have to make those plays. Big time players make big time plays in big time games,
It
and
is.
he didn't do
Mm, mm, mm. Falling to the Florida Gators 24-17. Yeah, man. Moving on, man. Ohio State Buckeyes takes out the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers 38-15. This was it. This was your season. Again, pretender, contender Saturday, separation Saturday. Indiana's a pretender. This game wasn't close. The score kind of looks a little iffy, but no contest for Ohio State. Indiana's not in that category yet. I know the coach in the press conference, they were asking him, do you still think the committee should put you guys in? And he was like, of course, but nah, Indiana ain't that guy, man, so to speak. But did you get a chance to look at this game, man? Ohio State, Indiana.
Yes, that was really the only game that I was really looking forward to this weekend.
Mm,
Uh, Indiana, Indiana. So they dominated every team on their schedule, which is all that you're asked to do. You don't have any say so in how other teams perform that are on your schedule. So most of the teams that are on their schedule were on the bottom half of the Big Ten. So they finally play a team that's ranked. They finally play a team that's above 500, and they got stomped out, outclassed. Uh, you could tell
mm,
they now I will say Indiana, they came out with with some fire. They drove downfield on their first possession. Matter of fact, they stopped. Ohio State first possession. They drove downfield and scored. Stopped Ohio State again, a goal line stand. I think they had two goal line stands, if I'm not mistaken.
mm.
I'm trying to remember, but I mean, their defense kept them in the game, but their punter muffed the punt. Then when they punted again, Caleb Downs, the Alabama transfer, took it to the house.
Yeah.
And the first couple drives, Ohio State really didn't pin their ears back to blitz. But when they saw that they were getting that pressure on Rourke, they didn't stop blitzing. And he didn't have time to think. That separated that separated the game. That was the 6 degrees of separation. The blitzing from Ohio State destroyed Indiana's chances of even making it a competitive game.
Wow.
I was disappointed because it's like you knew this was going to come.
Mm,
You knew Ohio State was going was going to unleash the dogs on you
mm,
at some point. Why wasn't it in the game plan? You know, like you're not going to be able to run. You're not going to have time to throw. So what are you going to do? You got to do something. You got to do something. And it was just my team is bigger, better, faster than your team, and there's
wow.
nothing that you can do about it.
Wow.
That's all we saw Saturday morning, and an early kickoff. So
Wow. There it is, man. Beautiful, beautiful breakdown. Ohio State, 31, taking out undefeated. Hopeful Indiana 15, 38-15. Uh, yeah, man, that rounds out your key game yesterday. Uh, just real quick rundown of the remaining top 25. Number 3 Texas takes out Kentucky, 31-14. Penn State squeaks by Minnesota 26-25. Number 6 Notre Dame 49-14 over Army. Number 19 Army. Miami 42-14 over Wake Forest. Georgia 59-17 over UMass. Tennessee 56 nothing against UTEP. Boise State 17-13 Wyoming. SMU 33-7 over Virginia. Arizona State 28-14 over BYU. BYU's just falling apart, man. Uh, Clemson 51-14 over Citadel. Big win for South Carolina, 56-12 over Wofford. Iowa State 31, 28 over Utah. Missouri beat Mississippi State 39-20. And number 25, Illinois 38-31 over Rutgers. There you go, man. Next week, got a big one, man. Iron Bowl, Alabama. Yes, indeed. So if you're in the state of Alabama, this is the granddaddy of them all. Iron Bowl week, Alabama, Auburn Tigers, hot Auburn team we already talked about. We don't know what this Alabama team is. I'm done trying to figure it out. Do they only get up for big games? Just we don't know who we gonna get with this Alabama team. But what do you see, man, in this matchup? Uh, the loser, I want to know, what do you think the way forward is for the loser, man? Take it away.
I mean, really, for the loser, you know, it would hurt Auburn more than it would hurt Alabama. Uh, for Auburn, there's no bowl eligibility. For Alabama, that's it's just another loss on the record. That's supposed to be a better season. So the path forward is just to keep playing, keep building your program, get the players that you need, to win, to have those successful seasons. But I will say, looking ahead to this Iron Bowl, I've been saying I believe it's going to be a close one. I figured Auburn would have more wins this season and more wins on the back end as well. But the signature win over A&M, I believe, is going to give them the confidence that they need. That we dropped this game, we dropped that game. We don't know how to close games, and they finally closed the game. So I believe that's going to boost their confidence on the road in Tuscaloosa at Bryant Denny. Uh, the key to victory for Auburn, they're going to have to establish the run game, control the line of scrimmage. If Jarquez Hunter can run for in between 90 plus, like 90 over 90 yards in this game, Auburn will probably win because that's going to be able to set up some play action passes, uh, not turn the ball over. I'm gonna say that one more time.
Hmm.
Not turn the ball over. For Alabama, it's the same thing. If they can establish the run game without Milrow, but if they can move Milrow in that pocket, or when that pocket breaks down, and catch Auburn on some crossing routes because they've been struggling on those. When the play breaks down with a mobile quarterback, catching those receivers running free because we're young on the back end. We have a lot of freshmen, like true freshmen playing. So those can be some back-breaking plays because last week and well yesterday A&M converted plenty third downs. I mean even third and 13, third and 15, third and 10 consistently throughout the game. And I believe Alabama is capable of doing the same thing. So I believe it's going to be a close game. I believe it's going to be a good game. But whoever can establish the line of scrimmage and establish the run game is gonna win this game.
Mm. You give me a score prediction.
Ooh, I don't know. I can't give you a score prediction now, but you know what? I throw one out there. 24-17 Auburn. 24-21 Auburn. I say that. 24-21 Auburn.
There it is. There it is. I'm kind of hoping it's a shootout. I like to see another Texas A&M Auburn type game. Think that'll be cool, man. But it could be just a battle in the trenches. You never really know with either one of these teams, man. But 24-21.
24-21 or something lower, maybe like 17-14.
I got you.
Uh, yeah, I believe it's going to be a close game. Hopefully, there's no theatrics at the end, like no more 4th and 31 dagger grave digger plays.
Ridiculous,
You know, so
man.
but yeah, it's gonna be I'm definitely looking forward to it. Definitely have some confidence on the planes. I know Alabama's gonna get their mind right and get focused. So I don't think they're gonna be a pushover or give up. But it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it should be a good one, man. Alabama team with a chip on their shoulder, playing for pride this week. You can't lose to Auburn at home. You got to come with it. So we'll see, man. The good old fashioned Iron Bowl this Saturday, man. Bryant Denny Stadium, Saban Field. SEC championship, man. So Georgia, sitting there waiting, clinched. Who do you see possibly going up against the Georgia Bulldogs?
Uh, Texas A&M,
Mm.
but I wouldn't be
So
surprised if
you're
Texas
saying
win
Texas A&M gonna beat Texas?
because it's gonna be at Kyle Field, home field advantage. Uh, and with Texas, barely beating Arkansas, and Texas, they beat Kentucky, but it was a little closer than usual. I believe A&M is more of a polished team. They're more of a polished team, and I believe A&M has the advantage. And one thing about it, Texas A&M, Texas schedule, they've only played three teams with a winning record. That's
Mm,
Vanderbilt, Colorado State, and Florida.
mm.
Another team they played with a winning record was Georgia, which you know what happened there. Uh, Arkansas, uh, was in the game, and they just gave the game away. Uh, with the turnovers. So I believe Texas A&M will probably edge out Texas. But even if Texas wins, even if Texas beats Texas A&M, they're not going to beat Georgia.
Hey, this
It's
Georgia
hard.
team, man.
It's hard to beat Kirby twice in one year. But
Yeah,
if he has your number,
yeah.
he has your
And
number.
Kirby gonna
So
get them boys up, man, when they need to be
yes,
more times than not.
yes. So yeah, I believe A&M beats Texas and plays Georgia in the Texas in the SEC championship game
Gotcha,
for the
gotcha.
first, and this would be their first time going to the game. So
Yeah. Hey, man, that'll be big, man. My boy, he got Texas A&M over Texas Longhorns to go to the
that's
SEC
right.
championship, facing off against Georgia, man. I love it. There it is, man. There it is. Let's go on out west, man. Big 12 championship. Is Colorado are they still in the mix? Are they disqualified? Uh, who's gonna come out on top in that Big 12, man?
I don't know. You got Colorado, you got Arizona State. Uh, I don't know. I have no idea. Uh, who else is over there?
Got BYU fading fast.
I don't. I think BYU may be out.
Yeah,
I think BYU may be out. Even though they have some signature wins, they beat SMU, even though SMU is in the ACC. But
right.
that's a ranked win, and they're still ranked.
Is
Uh,
Iowa State still in the mix?
well, Iowa State has how many losses? Two or
What's
three?
two or three?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I think next week is really separation Saturday for the Big 12 because I don't think anybody's clinched yet.
Right.
So once things will shape itself out next Saturday. But I'm not sure if Colorado is going to be in there.
Yeah.
I don't believe they'll make it. I believe it. If anything, it may be Arizona State sneaking in, uh, and possibly maybe BYU, uh, or who else? Who else is in there? Kansas State.
Kansas. Yeah. Kansas State. Well, not really. Kansas State way down there, man.
They're way down there.
Yeah.
See, I have to go look at their standings.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get more clarity on that next
Yeah.
week. Uh, yeah, for the Big 12, Big 10. Yeah, it's probably gonna be Oregon, maybe Oregon
You
and
got the
Ohio
big one
State.
next week, Ohio State, Michigan.
It's not a big one this year.
Yeah.
It's a big beat down coming.
Yeah. I mean,
So
but they still view it kind of like, we do Auburn, Alabama. So,
and you never know. You never know. Michigan may turn it on, or Ohio State may be looking ahead. Yeah, but Ohio State going going
yeah,
going
they'll
gonna make
do
it
it.
do it
Michigan just
next
got a
week.
big commit quarterback uh, for our 5-star guy. So
Oh yeah,
we'll
he's
see. They
definitely
they got the
five
big one
star.
next week. Is he a 5-star?
He 5 star with what 7 figures.
Hey.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
So they
sir.
got they got the big one up there next week, man. We'll see. Uh, give me your thoughts on the playoff picture, man. 12-team playoffs. Uh, you got Miami looking to get a bye. Uh, you know, I saw one bracket last week that had Ole Miss and Indiana playing each other. How about that? You
Yeah,
know,
well, see, last week is last week.
you
Now
feel
with
me?
Miami, uh, they have to beat Syracuse next week,
Yeah.
which I believe they will. But that can be a tricky game. But uh, Miami will win that game. But here's the thing: Miami clinches a spot in the ACC championship. You got SMU
Mhm.
and Clemson.
Yeah. Where's
That
Notre Dame in all this, man?
they're not there. See, that's the thing. That's why I don't like Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame, but I don't like Notre Dame in these situations because they should be affiliated with a conference.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you need to go. You need to go through a schedule just like every other Power Four team. No Notre Dame bias, and I like Notre Dame, and they're playing some good football. But in these situations, it's like no. You don't participate until you get in.
There you go.
We're the big four or the big 4.5, but you're gonna be in somewhere. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I believe Miami will clinch a spot in the ACC championship. I don't believe they'll beat Clemson, or I believe they'll beat Clemson before they beat SMU.
Yeah.
Uh, But then again, I could be wrong. Miami's one of those tricky teams. They're good, especially offensively, but their defense is shaky at best. So uh, I believe they match up well with SMU and Clemson. I believe it's pretty even, but I don't see them being better or beating those teams. Uh, so we'll see how that goes. But first, they have to get past Syracuse, and that's like I believe that could be a tricky game for them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Man, we're live with the silent partner, Mr. Abraham Belt, Alabama football insider, baby. Man, real quick before we go, man. So do you think with the loss to Georgia, do you think Georgia still gets in? Say Texas goes down. Do you still think Texas gets in? And if
Oh
let
yeah,
me rephrase that. If Texas loses badly, do you think they get in?
yeah, because they only have 2 losses on the year.
Right.
Uh, if they lose badly, they'll lose it to a ranked A&M team or a highly ranked Georgia team. So yeah, I believe they'll get in. Uh, their schedule isn't just the toughest schedule because, like I said, they only beat 3 teams with a winning record, and that's Florida, Vanderbilt, and Colorado State. So if they beat Texas A&M, that'll be their best win on the year. And lose to Georgia, they're definitely in. But if they lose to Texas A&M, I believe they're still in.
Yeah.
Uh, well, because of SEC biased,
Yeah.
uh, and because they're a national brand, and they're actually a good team. They're all
Yeah.
around team. I mean, there's if right now if Texas was in the ACC, they'll be undefeated. If they were in the Big 12, they'll be undefeated. They were in the Big 10, they'll be undefeated and number
Yeah.
one.
I agree. I agree. Do you see Georgia getting in with the loss in the SEC championship? Which a lot of people say you shouldn't be penalized for losing in the SEC championship. What's your thought?
Georgia lost to Alabama. Georgia lost to Tennessee. Georgia lost to
Ole Miss.
the Ole Miss. Did they lose to Florida? No.
No.
So they have 3 losses already. Losing the SEC championship game, I don't think they'll get in because 4 losses, 3 losses is easy to it's kind of more explainable. But 4 losses is like I don't care who you beat. You
Yeah.
lost 4 games. I wouldn't put them in. I don't know what the committee would do, but I wouldn't put them in. I would put it if Texas beats A&M. Well, shit, A&M would have no. That'll be 3 losses. So A&M would have 3 losses. So I will put A&M in before I put Georgia in, and possibly Tennessee has how many losses? 3.
Two, 2 or 3.
Yeah, Lopez. I don't. Alabama didn't score not 1 touchdown. They didn't even touch the end zone. So and they're gonna get another loss this coming weekend. So they're not gonna be
Oh,
in
oh, not 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 too
either.
much on Belma, man. Not too much. I won't allow this. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the chat. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, baby. Again, these are Alabama insiders, man. Your go to for college football information. These guys are on the ground, in the state of Alabama, bringing this to you, man. So make sure you hit the like button. So no, we about to get out of here. But if Georgia wins, Georgia got 3 losses. Alabama beat Georgia. If Alabama bludgeons Auburn next week, should Bama still get in?
I believe they have a shot, maybe if that happens. But then you're looking at who? You're looking at Georgia. You're looking at A&M will only have 3 losses. You're looking at Texas with 2 losses. I don't know. I think they're like slim, but
Yeah.
um, they have one of the worst losses of all. They,
Yeah.
they lost to Vandy. You know,
Hey, Paul
and,
Feinbaum said the loss yesterday may be even worse.
oh yeah, so yeah, that's the worst loss because Oklahoma has a losing record.
Mhm.
I forget. I don't know how I forgot about that. And they didn't score a touchdown. So
Yeah.
uh, I don't see even if they beat Auburn, they barely beat Auburn or they blow Auburn out. I believe they're they won't.
If Georgia loses, last scenario, if Georgia loses the SEC championship, Bama wins out. Do you see a possibility there?
No,
No.
no,
Gotcha.
no. I
Hey man,
believe.
I'm trying to make it work.
I mean, who would be who would be Bama's signature win?
Georgia. You gotta count it. Even though Georgia is who they
That's
are
one.
now. Say
That's
what?
one. That will be one.
Yeah, but that's
So
their signature win.
so a signature win over a team that lost 4 games, 3 games. You know,
Yeah, but that Georgia win is, that's gonna be in everybody's mind just the way it happened. You know.
so compare that to the other teams that are being considered. Texas A&M,
Yeah, yeah,
Texas. You know,
you're right.
uh, Tennessee. Tennessee could have destroyed Oklahoma. I believe Heupel took his foot off the gas
Mm.
in Norman. You know, so I don't see. But I mean, it's Alabama, so let me not get ahead of myself because it's a lot of Alabama bias in the committee and on ESPN. So there's always a possibility that Alabama can get in. Uh, but I just don't see them beating Auburn next weekend. So I would say no. Even Georgia win, lose, or draw,
There it is.
the
There it
the
is.
buck stops at Brian
The
Denny.
the, the buck stocks with the Auburn Tigers. Man,
That's right.
stop it, man. Shout out to the Auburn Tigers, man. Big win yesterday. Hey, man, it's still Roll Tide Roll, Bama Nation. Tuscaloosa finest, Alabama insider, Mr. Abraham Belt. Appreciate all the knowledge and the jewels tonight, man. Beautiful stuff. Uh, Talk to him, man. What's your social media? Where can they find you?
I don't know. One thing. Who I think make it to the championship game? I believe it's probably going to be Oregon. It will probably be Oregon and probably it's hard. I believe Oregon or Ohio State. It's going to be a Big Ten team. Oregon or Ohio State, and maybe Georgia, and maybe because I don't see too many teams that are built like Georgia. But
Texas? I want to say Texas, but it
Texas
just
is a
depends on
complete
how they
team.
set the bracket up.
Texas is a complete team, and Texas could. Yeah, it depends on how they set the brackets up. But Oregon is playing good, but they're beatable. You know, but I believe they could beat whoever they put in front of them into the championship game. Who do I think win? I don't know. Uh, but Ohio State is good. Let's not uh, look at that one loss against Oregon.
Ohio State is good, but we see this move every year, man. You know what I'm saying? Never
Hmm.
trust Ohio State so much until they show otherwise. Kind of like Ole Miss.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and Oregon, uh, they don't really have but that's been kind of like in the past with
What's that?
the not
Oregon?
big with the not big guys when they're running that hurry up offense. With Dan Lanning being there and coming from the SEC, he's recruited those bigger guys. That's one reason for their success in the Big Ten because we all know the Big Ten likes to run the ball 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and they've been able to hang with those type of teams and not just give up 3, 4, 500 yards on the ground. Uh, so I believe they're prepared for that grind. Uh, from Dan Lanning coming from the SEC and experiencing, knowing how to recruit the guys to compete in these bigger games. Uh, so it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I like it. It's really kind of dead even. Anybody can win. Uh, I want to see who's going to get in there before uh, I make those assumptions.
Yeah. Still got a little football left, man.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot of shakeups. So we really don't know, we just grasping at straws right now, but we will know very soon, man. Final thoughts, silent partner Abraham Belt.
Hey man, hey, you gotta get ready for next Saturday, Separation Saturday. We're gonna, like you say, separate the men from the boys, contenders from pretenders. So you can catch me, Abraham Belt, at Facebook. I am Silent Partner on Instagram.
There it is. Give it up, man. Appreciate all the love, baby. Appreciate all the love. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. Don't cost a thing. Appreciate all the love, man. We'll see you next week, baby. Week 14. Oh, it's lovely, baby. We out.
Whoa.